The forgotten language of civilization. So in this video, I will talk about something which no one have talked, I guess so, because it will be a monumental and phenomenal video, a civilizational monologue by Safikul Speaks. In a world that shouts to be heard, India once whispered to be remembered. What if I told you that India had a language older than Sanskrit, deeper than poetry, and it had no words? This language was not taught, it was absorbed, it wasn't spoken, it was held in glance, rituals, pauses. We call ourselves an ancient civilization, but we have forgotten our deepest tongue, not Tamil, not Vedic, Sanskrit, not Prakrit. I am talking about the silence, the language, silence meditation, of rituals performed without explanation, of pain carried without complaint, of wisdom passed without lectures. Today, I want to take you back not to a book but to a breath. What is the forgotten language? It is not just silence in the literal sense, it's a combination of rituals done daily without needing validation, gestures that spoke more than words, mourn the sacred choice to stay quiet, not because had nothing to say, but because the unspoken carried power. This language was gestural, emotional, vibrational. It was how a mother looked at her child, how an elder touched your shoulder when you were about to break, how villagers sat around a fire and nobody felt the need to speak. So, if I want to contrast with the modern language, today everything must be said. We document grief, we announce joy, we record spirituality. We have forgotten that in India, to remain silent was to say, I remember. Now, we say everything and remember nothing. Noise has replaced nuance, speed has killed stillness. Our language has become algorithms optimized for reaction, not reflection. And that's a grief renouncement or a grief disannouncement which we should absorb in our life. Ancient India and the role of silence is very deep towards every aspect. It had not shaped only Indians' mind, it had shaped the world minds also. Our rishis didn't publish, they didn't shout, they closed their eye, sat in forest and listened to the cosmos. They understand. Something we don't, the truth doesn't need a megaphone, it's need a vessel. Silence wasn't lack, it was fullness. From ashrams to akharas, from kashis to Kamakhya, silence wasn't fear, it was intimacy with the eternal. Even spiritual battles were fought inside, not televised. Mauna and tapasya, these were the silence like power. As a power in Indian thought, silence is not passive, it's active resistance to the mind's noise. Tapasya wasn't shouting on stage, it was burning ego in stillness. Ask yourself what kind of civilization says to conquer yourself, sit still and say nothing. Only in India. It happened only in India, not in any country in the world. Except some few Taoism or in shamanism in like Mexico or like in Chinese tradition or Japanese tradition, that is bit different. In Mahabharata, Bhishma lies on a a bed of arrow and speaks only when time is ripe. Till then, silence. Krishna's most powerful action when he chooses not to fight. What was that? Ultimately, silence. Buddha, after enlightenment, he doesn't declare it. He simply sits. His silence becomes the sermon. Raman Maharishi, he taught in silence. Western scholars would travel 10,000 kilometers to hear nothing, yet they left transformed. Family and village life. How silence was used every day in the family or in the village life. That was very impressive and highly intellectual. In old Indian homes, there were no parenting books. The child learned through presence, tone, pauses. The family didn't need to talk much. The rhythm of life taught without saying. At temple, no one gave you a spiritual lesson. You watched how a woman offered water to a tulsi plant. That was your textbook. What does it mean? How we lost our language. Colonial, colonialism taught us that silence. Bit true, but not that much because weaknesses we had learned from the English literature, speak, argument, debate. Actually, speech, argument, debate, and what is called the English literature has ultimately shaped the differencement and the nuances or renuances of the Indian civilization in a different and positive and negative perspective, which touch the core of human blind. We started writing things we used to live. Modernity made everything content. We speak not to express but to impress. Yeah, that is a thing we need to remember. We listen only to response, not to remember. That's true. Why remembering it today matters? Because without this language, we are louder but emptier. It's a life experiencing quote that we are louder but emptier, faster but lost, more connected but less intimate. In this era, there is a bitter relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend, bitter relationship between wife and husband, also bitter relationship between a father and son or a son or mother. Actually, relationships are becoming like more whispered than silence. Friends are not friends now. If you forget this language, we don't just lose a way of communication, we lose a way of being. How to relearn it? It's very simple, but it will be very difficult for this generation to hold it on because sit beside someone and say nothing, it's just like wasting time in this era of modernity. Let the air carry your presence. Do a ritual without recording it. Let it be between you and the eternal. Let your grip breathe without explaining it. You will see the language returns when you stop forcing sound. So in the conclusion, I would like to say the civilization that listened India was not loud. She was deep. She didn't want to conquer your ear. She wanted to sit beside your soul. And maybe, just maybe, she still there in the quiet corners of your breath, wanting to be remembered, not spoken. And that is the essence of this video. That silence is greater than language. And in every civilization of the world, you will find that there is a bitter or a sweet history of silence in their respective history. And that is